Sports Betting is your home for picks, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. Welcome into a Monday show here. I got Howard Bender back from week 3. You know, we got some wins and losses that we'll review here, but we're going to be previewing some Monday Night Football. 2 games again on Monday Night Football. What's up, Howard?
What's up, sir? I'm trying to clean my glasses so that maybe I can see the Monday night games a little better than I saw some of those Sunday games. Hooba dooba. I can't tell you. Listen, we're all going to have our wins and our losses, but man, I was like, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Missed on my game bets, hit on my touchdown props, hit on, some prop bets. It's always usually the opposite. But, listen, anybody who tells you that they're winning 60%, 65% of their games, their picks every year in the NFL, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Average analyst is like 58%, and that's really good. You go by what you see on the Circa contest or the Westgate Super contest, and you look at the end of the year, you look at what, the people who won, what their winning percentage is. It ain't 65 to 75%. That's for damn sure. So, it happens, Servo.
Listen, yeah, I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard to have a winning record, let alone, have a go as hot as you were in week 1 and 2. I mean, it was an awesome start, but you have the weeks where you think you have a perfect read on some games, and all of a sudden, not that we picked this one, but all of a sudden the Colts beat the Ravens outright. I mean, it's just one of those things. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys outright. It's just like, what the heck?
It was definitely a weird week. There's absolutely. But the thing about it is, for me, is like, and I've always said it, if you're in it at the very end of the game and you're like, if you're sweating your bet, then you made a good bet. You had a good read on the game. That's fine. I had the Atlanta Falcons +3. I had the Commanders +6.5, and I had the Raiders giving 2.5. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life, baby. But like those games right there, like the Falcons game. Let's hit the Falcons game. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Adam Bernard, my illustrious producer here, our illustrious producer, tagging those losses. But I mean,
they're not losses; they're winning impaired. Okay,
Falcons, Commanders, and then the Raiders. I knew before the end of the first half that I was cooked on these bets. I knew it. I saw it. I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm coming back from these. Atlanta's offense looked stuck in the mud. The Commanders, I played the Commanders defense in DFS, and that was just like, I felt bad. I felt bad for their defense because there were so many 3-and-outs and so many garbage turnovers by the Commanders that what did you expect? You couldn't expect that their defense was going to hold up even remotely. Like the Bills had short field after short field after short field. Yeah. And it was like, the Commanders, they're like, our defense is, let's go to the sidelines. Oh, we got to go back in. They already scored. Right? We're already out. 3-and-out. Here we go. I got to get back into it. So, when stuff like that happens, but I'll say this, Servo, the biggest wet blanket, you know that you're a wet blanket or your team suck or the games suck when a guy nicknamed Vanilla Bean calls your team a wet blanket. And John and Pemba said it to me about midway through the second quarter. He's like, are there 2 bigger wet blanket teams than the Chargers and the Vikings? I mean, that was just. And then, there was 9.5 minutes left in the game. Yeah. And all we needed was like 3 points. We just needed a field goal. 9.5 minutes to go in the game, and we were like right there on the cusp. and neither team could do it. Bunch of idiots, bunch of buffoons.
Listen, yeah, the fact that that game finished very close to the under is unreal because of, you mentioned it, like it's insane that no one scored in the last 8 minutes.
9.5 minutes.
9.5 minutes, and the fact that whether you were on the Chargers or Vikings side of the money line too, I mean, Brandon Staley, I know the analytics and stuff said go for it on that 4th down to try to seal the game, but he almost threw away the Chargers win. And then, all right, Vikings get the ball back. Can they score to get that over or if you had the Vikings, get them the money line win. And that play where Kirk Cousins is directing things. They have a timeout and he's directing things, and it takes 30 seconds to even call the play, and then it's a tipped interception to end it. But if they go in and score there, that hits the over. That gives the Vikings the win. What a jumble there. And then, I mean, your Raiders call. What is he doing? What is the Josh McDaniels doing? Kicking a field goal when you need a touchdown and a 2-point. You need to score a touchdown either way. So even if you kick the field goal, you still need to score a touchdown. If that game, if they go in and score and get the 2-pointer, then maybe we're going to overtime. Then maybe the Raiders actually do end up covering that 2.5 spread in overtime. So it's just
McDaniels was like, wait, what? What? Oh, I thought we were 8.5-point dogs. That's why I went for the field goal. Oh, crap, man.
Oh, it's the end of the game? I thought this was the end of the 3rd quarter. Oh.
I got Daniel Carlson on my fantasy team, yo. I needed those extra points.
Britt Flynn chiming in here. Appreciate you joining in. Britt saying good afternoon, and math is hard. Yeah, I actually said to my wife at the end of the game, I was like, yeah, the math is not mathing for McDaniels here. He doesn't understand what's happening. So what in the world?
You know what I said to my wife after the game? Get out! Stop talking to me.
I gotta own my Broncos plus 6.5 pick.
I didn't want you to have to admit that
they got
dude.
smashed in that game. That was embarrassing. Listen, they just did not show up defensively to even keep that one close enough to. I had no, it was early on, and I was like, this is done. I'm not even gonna consider this a chance of covering the spread. And it was just late in the game where it's like, wait, they got the ball back again. They scored again. Devin A-Chain scored again. Mostert scores again.
I thought they were just replaying the same touchdown over and over again. I was like, oh, stop replaying this. Oh, this is live? Shit. Shit.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Falcons did not show up offensively to give us a chance with that one, so that was a bummer.
Adam Bernard with the comment in the chat here. Like Warner Wolf, you said. Shout out for the Warner Wolf reference. If you had the Broncos plus 50.5, you still lost.
Yeah.
That was abusive, dude. That was just... I mean, I have Raheem Mostert everywhere in fantasy and DFS, so I was like, okie dokie.
Wait, what was the final score of that game?
70-17, maybe?
I think it was. I think they did cover plus 50.5. I think it was 70-20, wasn't it? Or my final score was wrong there.
The fact that we're
70-20. Yeah, so they covered the 50.5.
Warner Wolf, that's why you're dead right now, all right?
Yeah.
Hey Dan, I got to step in here. They didn't cover 50.5. We were just giving problems about doing math. 50.5 would give them a win.
Yeah, we were just
saying
they
covered.
Adam, get over in here. Get in here. Don't hide as the voice from above. We were literally just saying that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You were too busy calculating?
Sure you were going that direction because I'm like, well.
Wait, if they lost by 50, then they covered 50.5. The Broncos, not the Dolphins.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Just making sure. I was getting the context wrong there. We're good.
Yeah.
I just want to hug you. Can I hug you? Can I hug you, Adam? Come here, you. Come here.
Either way, they did not cover the 6.5. I know that much. The Jets Patriots game, though, at least I got that right. That was a snoozer. That was That
Dude,
was as low scoring as I knew it was going to happen.
Dude, I actually felt bad that Tony Romo and Jim Nantz drew the Patriots Jets game for the broadcast.
Did they get that game, man? They
probably how did you two idiots end up with this one?
That was definitely a scheduling, before the season when they thought there would be Aaron Rodgers there for them in the first, Jets Patriots Rodgers game, but it's a tough one for them there.
Right in a tropical cyclone.
Yeah, they got
the worst game in the world, and there's Romo and Nance actually like trying to make a conversation about it.
What else? What else did we hit? So you hit all three your touchdown calls. So there you go.
Let's talk props and touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's
you
a little
did better on the props and touchdowns. All right. The Tank Bigsby call was awesome. I went with Travis Etienne, but I liked either running back in that Jags game to score for Jacksonville. I mean, even though Jacksonville did not really totally show up offensively, Bigsby got in the end zone, and Mike Williams, unfortunately, before his season-ending injury, he scores, and then Justin Jefferson cashes for you too. So, I think you went 3-0 last week in your touchdowns, and you go 3-0 again.
Hey.
It's all about and those are plus money. You're making up the.
I'm making up the difference on there. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the props because I actually did hit my one prop, but you crushed. You snagged all three of your props, right? Look at yours.
Yeah, you hit Kenneth Walker. I went with Deshaun Watson, Cousins, both going over their passing yards, and Thielen had a huge game. I just had the 34.5 over, but he went for I think 100 plus total receiving yards in that one. I knew he was gonna be a favorite target of Andy Dalton, so I like that one. It was good to have that one over and done early too in that game. So. But the Kenneth Walker also had a huge game. I think he had over 100 total yards, but over, I think he had 90 something rushing yards. So he went over for 97. You there.
97. So my DFS lives, I know it's a betting show and DFS is not betting or gambling. But like that late action there, I needed like the DraftKings like bonus for 100 yards to like push me up into the different level of money because I had Kenneth Walker at like reasonably low ownership, and the same thing with Adam Thielen. His touchdown, he had like 140 some odd yards, like 11 catches, 140 some odd yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown came super late, so all of a sudden it was like as soon as those that happened, I was like ringing the cash register, and I was like ooh, like I didn't give a crap about my bets because I was like making money in DFS. And then I was like, oh, Kenneth Walker, come on, man. 3 yards. Just give me 3. Why is Zach Charbonnet on the goddamn field?
Yeah. Charbonnet was looking good, though, anytime he touched the ball. Your Javonte Williams, I think he had 2 receptions on the dot.
Yes, he did have 2 receptions.
But you'd think like they'd be trailing in that game, he'd at least get another catch. But
did they not? I turned it off because it was just so ugly.
They might not have been out there.
Did they just take him off the field when the Dolphins hit the 50 mark? Did they just take all the Broncos starters off the field?
I wasn't watching either. I just saw the highlights as they were coming in on Red Zone. Like, oh, they scored again. My Cowboys Chiefs teaser did not cash because the Cowboys lost outright by double digits to the Cardinals there. The Chiefs got their end of the bargain done with Taylor Swift in town. They covered easy, but the Cowboys could not. So bummer on that teaser. I thought that was money, but I shouldn't have put my trust in the Cowboys. That's what is the basic line here. I mean,
you know what? I lost 2 survivor picks because of the Cowboys, and you know what though?
The Cardinals are trying to lose.
I am mad.
Trying to lose.
I mean, I've got other picks in these survivor pools, so I'm okay with that. Like if I'm gonna go down, and it's because the Cowboys lost. I feel okay about that. I really do. I
think it's going to be a fun fantasy alarm Sirius XM show for you coming up.
Oh, I played Bowden in fantasy also in the Sirius XM host league. Let me ask. Again, I know it's not a fantasy show, but can I ask you my chances to win?
Yeah. I'll get up the calculator here.
All right, let me call up here. Beep beep boop beep 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 boop. Ring 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 ring.
Hello there.
Hi, Dan Servodidio. Am I on the air? Am I
You're
live?
on the air live. What's up?
Sick. Howard Bender here, longtime listener, first time caller.
Welcome to the Fantasy Calculator.
I appreciate you having me here. All right, so I got a big matchup here right now against one of my chief rivals in the league. All right, I've got Jamar Chase still to go. He's got Evan McPherson still to go.
Okay. What's the current score going right now?
Okay, I've got 201.42. He's got 80. What are my chances to win?
All right, hold on. I think you got a 200% chance of winning there. There you go.
Thank you very much.
I think you're good. Whether or not Joe Burrow plays, I think you're good with that.
It's going to be the greatest fantasy alarm show of all time. All time.
Oh, man. All right. Well, so, yeah, those are our wins and losses from Sunday's week 3. You know, you can't get them all right, but we're flipping the script to week 4, but not yet because we got 2 Monday Night Football games to preview tonight, give out some bets and picks for props and all that good stuff. And by the way, for tonight's Monday Night Football game, we are gamifying these games, double dip, Monday Night Football double dip on the BettorCast app. So go download that BettorCast app for free right now. Predict what will happen during the games, test your NFL knowledge. You can chat with the community live during the game about all the big plays, top performers from Eagles, Bucks, and Rams-Bengals in real time. No purchase or subscription necessary. Always free to play. Yeah, download the BettorCast app right there with that QR code. Go over to the Apple app or Google Play stores too and download the free BettorCast app. Must be at least 18 years old, but yeah, you answer questions about, prop over-unders, who will score next, different questions live during the game. And the more questions you get right, the more tickets you win to be redeemed for authentic NFL signed gear and collectibles. So download the BettorCast app before Monday Night Football games tonight. And all right, let's get right to our first matchup. We got 2 games again tonight on Monday Night Football. The first one, 7:15 Eastern time kickoff, I think it is Eagles versus Buccaneers. I got my Philly special shirt on, so you know who I'm repping here. But the Eagles, 5-point spread.
Arg, matey.
Oh, you're the Buccaneers, are you?
My Buccaneers are under my bucking hat.
The Eagles are 5-point favorites on the spread there. The over under 45, 44.5, wherever you're looking. All right, where are you going here? You can see it on the screen. It looks like you're taking the Bucks and the under.
Dude, I am. I'm taking the Bucks and the under. Listen, for legit 30-minute span on DK, it was 5.5.
Yeah,
and I was like
fluctuating.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay. So I mean, it's been 5 for the majority of the time. I saw it go down to 4.5, and I was like, oh, okay. A lot of money coming in early on the Bucks. Monday night dogs. That tends to happen. And then I saw it go back to 5, and then I saw it go up to 5.5. And as soon as it went up to 5.5, I bet it immediately.
Okay.
I hit up my guy. I was like, place it right now. Do not let it move. I mean, listen, I get it. You've got the Eagles are a very potent team. Jalen Hurts is a stud. A.J. Brown is a stud. Devonta Smith is a stud. I'll tell you one of the interesting things. I worry a little bit because of such a, the defense for Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles is a defensive guy. He's got a good secondary. And when you've got Antoine Winfield rolling around out there as the free safety, that's definitely going to help with coverage on some of these wide receivers and, inside the zone to really watch out for, AJ Brown, he always goes over the side, down the sidelines. Like that just seems to be like his thing now. Devonta Smith is the guy you really got to worry about the most on these slants because he's got that great speed. So I think Winfield's going to be in on that. I'm not saying that the Eagles lose this game. I just see this game being a lot closer than a lot of people think because of the Bucks defense. I don't love the Bucks offense. Eagles do have some secondary issues, but nothing crazy about it. So, I feel like this is like a 23-20 Servo, where your Eagles win, but the Bucks will cover that spread.
All right. Well, I'm hoping it's I got the Eagles at 4.5, and I think it's still like that on FanDuel, but you could shop around. But there's a way we both win this if the Eagles win by 5, I guess, because you got the 5.5. But I think that the Eagles defense, they get James Bradbury back, which is huge for that secondary, which gave up a bunch of yards and points to the Vikings last week with him out. But I think him being back is huge. And the fact that they're trying him out because they lost Avonte Maddox, which is a huge loss in their nickel corner.
Yes.
And I think you got to pick kind of targeting that. But they've been trying out Bradbury this week at the nickel spot. And I think because they want to make sure they got Slay and Bradbury on Evans and Godwin and try to limit both of them. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I think that overall helps the secondary for the Eagles. And their D-line is one of the best in the league. I think they're going to shut down the run game here and really put pressure on Mayfield to make some tough throws and make throws on the run. I think they're going to really frustrate him, and that's kind of the big thing for me because I do agree that the Eagles' offense has not looked sharp this year through 2 games. I do think they're going to start to gel more. Hurts getting more comfortable with the new play calling and all that. And I think they're going to show up just enough here. I see, I like that it's at 4.5 because I know, a field goal win obviously doesn't give me the win here, but I think it could be like a full touchdown win here. Let's go
26-21, Servo. 26-21. It maintained. Oh no, that
doesn't give you the under though.
Yeah, I gotta get. Never mind. How about 21-16?
How about a 17-10 win for the Eagles? I'll take that.
No, because that doesn't cover for me. So come on. I mean, if you're gonna work with me here, dude. But if you're gonna hang your buddy out to dry like that,
how about this 21-16?
Screw you. I hope the Bucks win this one outright now.
21-16. There you go.
That's what I said, and then you were like, "No, I want 17-10." Yeah.
I forgot about the 5. I forgot the 5.
You selfish son of a bitch.
By the way, the Bucks have a couple of injuries to kind of monitor. I think to see who's active, who's inactive. Devin White and Vita Vea are both questionable. So is Carlton Davis. So I think those, if any, Devin White would be a huge loss if he's out. But obviously check that.
Vita Vea
in the middle
is a much
is
bigger one.
Yeah,
if
against the
Vita
Eagles
Vea
run
is
game.
out, I worry about the Bucks run defense. Then I do.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on the Eagles here. Not just because I'm an Eagles fan. I just do think that they covered as favorites in these first 2 games. Barely got there in both, but I think that matters too. Coming in here, Monday Night Football. I think they're going to ball out. All right. So any props, other props that, by the way, Howard wrote up a whole best bets article over on Fantasy Alarm. If you want to check that out, get the All Pro subscription to get that. But any other props or bets that you like in this game? I think we both got a few here.
Yeah, actually, you know what, man? I got a couple here. All right. Number 1, Jalen Hurts over 1.5 passing touchdowns. All right. I'm going to play that because I think that the running game is going to get stuffed. I don't love DeAndre Swift. Kenneth Gainwell's working his way back. Vita Vea is usually there in the middle. They got some good middle linebackers. So, I'm okay with Jalen Hurts with the passing touchdowns. How about that?
Okay. I can get behind that. You
want more or you want to give me one?
I'll give you one. I like A.J. Brown's receiving yards over. This is one that's actually been going up over the last few hours. So whatever the smallest line you can get. But I got 67.5 receiving yards over on FanDuel. I like the over. I think he had a quiet week 2, only at 29 receiving yards in that game. But I think he bounces back. He was just cameras kind of showed him with a little heated discussion with Hurts. But they're boys. It's not like a huge bad rift there at all. But I do think Hurts is going to look his way early and often in this one to get him involved, make some big plays. I think he could catch one of those touchdowns from Hurts. So I like that call too, if you want to look at anytime touchdown for A.J. Brown too. But I like his receiving yards to bounce back. He had 10 targets, 79 yards in week 1. I think we see something more towards that stat line here. He only had 4 catches for 29 last week. Just, it's the old squeaky wheel vibe that I know you have always
I
mentioned.
love the squeaky wheel play.
Listen, it's legit, and I think it happens here. He's gonna bounce back. This is a guy that he could go over this on one long bomb. I don't think that happens, but give me the over on AJ Brown's yards here.
All right, AJ Brown over 67.5 receiving yards. I hope he gets it, or at least he gets a touchdown.
I'll take that.
All right, I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna go to Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go back-to-back props right here. Baker Mayfield. I took the alt line for his passing yards because there was just like all of a sudden I looked and his passing yards were up to like 292, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to deal with that. It just seems like if I do the under, then if he does have to throw over 225 passing yards, I think that's at like minus 130 or minus 135 on DraftKings. I did that. And then how about this? Eagles with, no Avonte Maddox, with, linebackers who don't handle coverage schemes very well. How about Cade Otton, the tight end for the Tampa Bay Bucks, over 25.5 receiving yards. I threw that down. I saw on like Underdog and Prize Picks that they had his number at 29.5 receiving yards. So I was like, yeah, 25.5. Give me that over.
I love that one. I almost threw that one out too. So I'm probably throw that in a bet. We got Mulroy commenting here, says he likes that one and Otton over 2.5 receptions. Listen, the Eagles have led up in week 1, both Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki combined to have a big combined stat line in that one. Week 2, TJ Hawkinson did it for the Vikings against this Eagles defense. So yeah, I'm with you on Cade Otton being a target for kind of like easier completions for Mayfield, and your Mayfield prop too, because we saw in week 1 and week 2 when the Eagles were ahead, both Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins had to chuck it all over to kind of, play catch up. Both had some big yard stat lines there too. So I think Mayfield too, I think the Bucks, if they want to keep this close, if they want to have a chance of winning, they're going to need Mayfield to be throwing it more here. And that one of my props is kind of in the same line of that. I'm going with the under on Rachaad White's rushing yards. I think, it's 49.5, which is, is a low number. Because he did have 79 yards last week, and he 73 yards last week. Sorry, and he's getting a lot of volume. He's got 17 carries in both games so far. But the Eagles' rush defense is legit. Their D line is so good, especially now that they have Jalen Carter there, really mucking things up in the middle. And they held Alex Madison to 29 yards last week on just 8 carries. Another, game flow where the Vikings had to throw more. Week 1, Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott combined for only 54 yards on 19 combined carries. Both had less than 30 rushing yards. So I think this is going to be another instance where Rachaad White is going to struggle against this Eagles rush defense. I think that, he's, he had 73 yards, like I mentioned last week, but that was also against the Bears defense that we all know is not good right now. They just got tore up by the Chiefs run game yesterday. So, give me the under on Rachaad White. I think we're both seeing the kind of the game flow and game situation similarly here, where the Bucs offense is probably going to have to throw more, and the run game might be shut down. I think on Friday's show you gave out a Chris Godwin prop too, the over on his receiving yards, I think.
Oh yeah, over 63.5 or 65.5 receiving yards. Yeah, and I was kind of eyeballing his receptions as well. Good call. I forgot about that one there.
Well, especially because if he's, I mentioned they might be putting Bradbury in the slot as a nickel corner with Avonte Maddox out, but he's more comfortable on the outside, so they might opt to not do that, and that gives Godwin kind of more targets, I think, over the middle. I think we're seeing that one. We got Jackson in action over on YouTube commenting saying Baker getting his first interception. I could see it. This Eagles defense forces turnovers. I think he could fumble it. He could. I think he has a turnover in this game. So whether it's a fumble or an interception, I do see that coming. Narissa over on YouTube saying over under 45 Eagles. She asked, I guess she's asking over under 45. Well, you took the under, right, in this one. So
I got the under in this one
Yeah.
here. I do think that the defenses kind of prevail. Like I had said to Servo, like a 21-16 game would be great with me. 20-23. I'm kind of in that realm. I think the Bucs just keep it just at least close enough, and because of that, I think that that's just going to turn into the under.
Yeah. And listen, the Eagles have had their offensive struggles. They kind of rode DeAndre Swift last week, but they really didn't get going too much passing wise. So, all right, yeah, and then the under has been trending a little bit. You can see it's 44.5 in some places, but if you can get the under 45, even better. So that's the Eagles Bucs. By the way, there's a Monday Night Football DFS playbook over on Fantasy Alarm 2. So if you want to get the All-Pro subscription, get the free 7-day trial to the All-Pro subscription and jump on that playbook, you get all of our DFS content for free with that All-Pro subscription. Scan that QR code right there or go to fantasyalarm.com/NFL and get a free 7-day trial for all of our NFL content, baseball content too. There's, we still got MLB DFS going on. Hockey starting up. We'll have some hockey content coming up.
Hockey, NBA, you name it. It covers
college
every sport.
Football. I got college football covered.
Dude, have you seen how much our MMA guy just tears it up in DFS, by the way?
I actually have not, no.
Oh my God, that dude.
Is he
Mike
killing it?
Mike
Iannone, yeah.
Makes money for people. I'll say that.
Every Friday he's got his DFS playbooks. They're fire.
So, all right, let's get to the next game here.
Yeah, well, real quick, before we turn the page on this game, Slick in the YouTube chat asking, can Rashad help in the passing game? Yeah, I think him and Cade Otton will both, I'd look at their receptions and receiving yards because I do think Mayfield might look for more, underneath completions, easy little dump offs if the Bucs are struggling to move the ball. And if Godwin and Evans are, more or less covered by Slay and Bradbury, I do think that, Rashad White against the linebackers for the Eagles could have some easier chances. So, yeah, I'd look at that one. All right, let's look at the next game. We got the Rams-Bengals. The big storyline, is Joe Burrow going to play? The Bengals are at -3 right now on the spread, the over-under at 43.5. We got a report, a couple reports earlier today that Burrow's going to try to go for it. He's going to work out pregame, but he's trending in the right direction to be active. I did just see before we went live, the Bengals have signed Reed Sinnett to their active roster off the practice squad. So that is, I think, telling that maybe Burrow, they have still worries about him. We'll see if he is officially active before this game. But I mean, the signs are pointing towards him playing. On Friday's show, Howard, you gave out +3 on the Rams because we thought maybe we'd get official word that Burrow wouldn't play. And we saw actually the line move, once it looked like, all right, maybe he won't play over, I think yesterday and on Saturday, the line was, like 2, 1.5, going in the Rams direction. We did get word here though today that it looks like Burrow will play and the money has come back on the Bengals, but I love this chance to now get the Rams at +3. I'm with you. I think there's still a chance Burrow doesn't play. He's going to be working out pregame. We'll see if he does end up playing, but even if he does, he's going to be limited. And this Bengals offense has been it's just totally not as effective as we know it could be. With him playing, I mean, the calf is legit limiting his effectiveness. So I'm on the Rams here, and I would look at their money line too. I think this is a great chance. I don't know what the current lines are, if it has moved again back in the Rams direction, but if it's at +3, I think it's a great little buyback spot there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that this is a huge mistake by the Bengals. I mean, I'm seeing this from Ian Rappaport on Twitter that the insiders on NFL Plus say that they think that they have optimism that somehow Burrow plays tonight. I mean, if you want to, if Cincinnati just wants to crap on their season, go ahead and push them, right? I mean, I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. So I'm very, very skeptical as to whether or not he plays. And I'm telling you, man, I love Joe Burrow. I love the Bengals, but they're handling this like a bunch of morons right now. You should have just kept him in a boot, and you should have just sat him for the first week or two of the season. And I guarantee you he would have been better if you just didn't push it. But you got to squint. You got to screw around. You don't want to panic because you got two division games, two division opponents earlier. I think this is a huge mistake by Zach Taylor, huge mistake by the Bengals if he plays. And you know what? Give me the Rams +3, because he takes one low hit. Somebody grabs him by the calves, or like a below the knee kind of a thing.
Or as Britt's saying, I mean, the Achilles tear is definitely possible now with, if you're playing on a bad calf and the one little step too far back, just like we saw with Rodgers. I mean, an Achilles injury is definitely in play. And I think they should sit him. They bring up Reed Sinnett. We got Jake Browning as the backup. But I think if overall the vibes are just on the Rams here, and we got Mulroyd saying he likes taking the Rams -1.5 for +141. Yeah, if you want to look at some alt lines and say all right, the Rams could, win by a field goal or win by a full touchdown, they get some nice alt lines there. Again, we got this is an 8:15 kickoff tonight, so we will not know if he's playing or active officially till an hour and a half beforehand. But I think getting the Rams at +3 right now, I'm still seeing on DraftKings it is there -110 to get the +3. But you like the over in this game too, though, right?
I do like the over in this one here. Neither defense. I mean, if you just look at DVOA standings, DVOA rankings, I think the Rams ranked 28th and the Bengals ranked 29th. I mean, I do worry if whether or not the Bengals are going to be able, if the Bengals don't have Joe Burrow, I don't know how much Jake Browning is going to be able to move the ball. Yeah. But I think that, obviously you've got Joe Mixon running for the Bengals. And if Browning can just be serviceable, I'm fine with that. That Stafford's going to throw. He's going to. I mean, that's just, that's his MO right now. So, I think I like the over in this game.
All right. One of my props that, now we're talking about the situation with Burrow, Jake Browning possibly playing. I think overall, put it all together, whether or not Burrow plays, I know he's going to be limited. I think they're going to ride Mixon tonight. So I love Joe Mixon's rushing attempts prop over. I got it at 14.5, but I've seen it at 15.5. But I think the lowest you can get it, go grab it, because I think he's going to get a ton of work here. He had 13 carries in both of the first two games. But again, that was with Burrow in there. The first game was, playing from behind against Cleveland, where they weren't handing it off to him a ton. And the second game was with Burrow throwing it 41 times in that one. I don't see that many attempts for him here, dropping back to pass. Or if it's Jake Browning, even better. I think Mixon is getting a lot of work here. I think the rush attempts, I'd look at his yards too, but I just like the rush attempts prop too. Last year, he was 6 of 14 regular season games. He went over this, at least 15 attempts. So, not the best, but he did average 15 carries on the year as a whole. In 2021, though, he had at least 15 attempts in 11 of 16 regular season games, averaged 18 carries per game. I think we're seeing more of that work. Last year we saw a lot of this. This offense was very pass heavy with Burrow lighting it up with Higgins and Chase. But I think this game plan for the Bengals has to be more run heavy. Has to be centered around Mixon, mainly as a ball carrier. And the Rams' rush defense has been shaky. They gave up 116 yards on 20 carries to Christian McCaffrey last week. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry. Week 1, Kenneth Walker only got 12 carries, but he gained 64 yards on those, averaged 5.3 yards per carry. I think this is a spot where Mixon, they need to give him 15 to 20 carries here. Probably use him in the passing game too, but I just like his rush attempts to go over. I think he's going to get a big workload.
Yeah, listen, man, I've got Joe Mixon over 63.5 rushing yards. So
There you go.
I'm
Yep.
right there with you. I mean, in tandem.
Yeah, I would look. Yeah, I like his rushing yards too. I like his props overall tonight. I think you could look at his receptions too, because he's been catching a lot of passes in these first two games. And I think especially if there's a situation where the Bengals are trailing, then he's going to be used as a receiver for sure. But hopefully early on, I just see them feeding him. Whether Burrow plays, they're going to take pressure off of him, throwing the ball, dropping back every pass. But even if it's Browning, it's definitely going to boost Mixon's carries and overall yards. All right, what other prop you got going tonight for this Rams-Bengals game?
All right, well, so to go with your rushing attempts, how about passing attempts for Matthew Stafford? Over 35.5 passing attempts. I mean, he threw 50 times last week, threw 38 in week 1. It's what he does, and I think that it's just that's the game plan. That's really what works best for them. I'm sure Kyron Williams is going to get some carries, but this is a pass first scheme.
Yeah,
that's what Sean McVay likes doing, and that's how he's going to do it. So Stafford over 35.5 pass attempts.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one because I like Stafford's passing touchdowns over 1.5. He's been looking really healthy and looking good so far this year, and I think McVay is, he's clearly letting him sling it. So I like the passing attempts called by you, but the passing touchdowns, I think there's some positive regression coming for him because he's thrown for 640 plus yards in these first two games. Rams have scored 53 points over these two games, but Stafford only has one passing touchdown to show for it in these first two. It came last week, one passing touchdown, but instead the Rams have scored 4 times on the ground. I think we're going to see some multiple touchdown efforts from Stafford going forward. I think it comes tonight. Bengals allowed Lamar Jackson to throw for 2 scores last week. And I think Stafford can get there. Last year he only did it twice in 9 games, throwing for 2+ touchdowns. But again, he was playing hurt, as we know. It was not a full healthy season for him. But in 2021 with the Rams offense, he went over this. He had multiple touchdowns in 17 of 21 games through the regular season and postseason. So yeah, give me Stafford to get at least 2 passing scores. I think if they're down close, he might be looking to pass it rather than the Bengals. I think know that, like, all right, they're going to be looking for Kyron Williams to run it, but I feel like Stafford's passing touchdowns could positively regress here. Jackson in action over on YouTube asking, what about Stafford's passing yards? I would look at that too. I think we're both on Stafford's props here. You like his attempts. I like his passing touchdowns. Yeah, I do think his passing yards can go over too. I'm not sure. Let's just pull up the line here, but he's been throwing it a ton in these first 2 games. This is what the Rams offense is right now. Just letting as long as Stafford's healthy right now, which he is, and looking like he is, I think they're letting him throw it around. 252.5 over on DraftKings. Yeah, I'd probably lean to the over there as well.
Yeah. Probably.
Britt Flynn throwing in our chat here. Appreciate it, Britt, for giving us some scoopage here. Laura Rutledge, reporter for ESPN, reporting that Zach Taylor still isn't making a call on Burrow. Yeah, listen, I think they're gonna like wait until pregame, legit, like, and see how he is. If it's clear he's limited and he might be a detriment to the offense. This whole week he hasn't practiced, and Jake Browning has with the starters, so it might be better for them to roll with Jake Browning, just because of that situation. So definitely keep an eye on the injury report and inactives for this game. So you got another prop that you like for this Rams-Bengals?
Yeah, I'll just throw down for Tutu Atwell over 64.5 receiving yards. I know everybody's going to be in on Puka Nacua. Whose, receiving yards really all wasn't that high, right? 72.5, I think, was Puka
I think that's
Nacua's.
A trap. If you're looking at the over on Puka, I think
that's why I'm like, why are they so close together, in this? And so I'm like, all right, well, I think that maybe they clamp down on Puka a little bit here. and Tutu Atwell's the one who does it. I mean, I only put a half unit on it. I didn't really like dive into it too much, but I just thought it looked a little suspicious, so I went with the secondary receiver instead of the primary.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a good call because I think back in Puka, it could be a little trappy here, especially the Bengals have seen what he did for the first 2 games. If they really want to limit the Rams offense, they're like, all right, let's just go shut down Puka Nacua and let other guys beat us. I mean, Tutu Atwell has been really good too, kind of being overshadowed by Puka Nacua too. So good call on that one. All right, so those are our Monday Night Football best bets and previews for tonight. Good luck with all your picks. We'll hopefully, we're coming back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern here on Bettor Sports Betting. Hopefully we got some winners to show for you guys, but good luck with all your bets and picks. Coming up after us, as always, the Fantasy Alarm Quick Pitch MLB DFS show with John and Pemba and James Grande. Definitely stay tuned for that. We got a small slate of baseball games, but enough to get some DFS lineups in for tonight. And again, on the Bettor Sports, on the Bettorcast app, we got the Bettorcast for Monday Night Football going tonight. So again, go download that for tonight's games. All right, that's about it for us. But we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Howard will be back Wednesday, and we'll be talking some more football then. But good luck with all your picks. And we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor